Hey, BookTube Sean here, recording my weekly wrap up. Last week I only finished one book. Got several more going, but I only finished one. On Monday I finished The Obelisk Gate by N.K. Jemisin, and I really, really liked this book. I don't know that I liked it better than The Fifth Season. I know a lot of people think that this book is better, and it's easily just as good, but something about with the fifth season, the way the three perspectives, and I'm not going to spoil anything for those who haven't read the fifth season, but the way the three perspectives were handled in the fifth season, I think was really unique. And I think that alone edges the fifth season up a little bit in my mind, as opposed to the Obelisk Gate, where we still have three perspectives, but they're not handled quite the same way as they were in the fifth season. So, well, this was still a great story and really engaging, and we learn a lot more and still have a lot of questions. The way the three perspectives were handled in fifth season, I think, just edges the fifth season out ahead a little bit for this one. But I am so excited for The Stone Sky to come out. I can't even tell you. Like, at August 15th, no other books exist but The Stone Sky, and I will still have several in process, but I'm working from home that day, and about 5 seconds after I open the box of my shipment of The Stone Sky is when I will be starting reading The Stone Sky. So I'm so excited for that. Books I have in progress this week. Tome Topple started this week. So I started with The Grace of Kings by Ken Liu. And I'm about 126 pages into this. I actually had to go ahead and buy the Kindle version of this because the font is so small in this. And I was talking to James Chatham and Reija about it, and I'll link their channels below. And actually, where I was talking to them at is a Discord server that James Chatham set up for booktubers. He's always got it linked in his videos, and I'll throw the link. I'll take the link from one of his videos and throw it underneath there. A few of us chat in there, and he set it up for booktubers, so I'll throw that link in there. But yeah, I was mentioning to them that this font in this is so small that I thought I was going to have to go ahead and spend the money for the ebook version so that I could adjust the fonts. And then James told me that the trade paperback wasn't much different. He struggled with the font in that. So I just broke down. I hated to spend $10 on a book I already owned, but it's so much easier to read now. Like, I could be so much further in this if I didn't spend over 100 pages with the small font on this and struggling with the eye strain to read it. So I think I'm going to get through this much quicker now that I have the ebook version. I also started the Blankets graphic novel. This is a nice little break from the epic fantasy. If I don't feel like sitting down and reading 10 to 20 page chapter, I can just sit down and read a little bit of this. Artwork is pretty nice in this. I'm enjoying it so far. I'm not very far into it. I just got to part 2, so I really haven't even gotten into the story so much, but a lot of you have been commenting about how much you love this graphic novel, and that's so good to hear, because it makes me want to get into it even more. So thank you, those of you who have commented and told me how much you enjoyed this graphic novel. It's really upped my desire to read it. That's the books I've started for Tome Topple. Well, I started one more, but I'm going to talk about that a little bit differently. In my Tome Topple TBR video, I mentioned that I was going to read Marota by L.L. McNeil, and I do still plan to read that this month, but it's weird. Amazon on Kindle listed it at 506 pages, so it just qualified for Tome Topple. But Goodreads lists it at 450 pages. So then it doesn't qualify for Tome Topple. And I have 3 arcs I have to read this month. I have Sea of Rust by C. Robert Hargill. Right after I recorded my weekly wrap-up last week, like an hour or two after I recorded, I got an email that I was approved for Salman Rushdie's new novel, The Golden House, and that comes out on September 5th, so I need to read that this month now. And I also have my Revenant Winds arc from the author Mitchell Hogan that I need to read and review and for the exact same week. So, but I did find out that the Revenant Winds, and here's the cover of that. I did pull that up. Really cool cover. I love that cover. That is 550 pages. So that qualifies for Tome Topple. So that helps me out a bit in getting my arcs read during these couple of weeks of Tome Topple. And I'm not going to be able to focus solely on Tome Topple books during these couple of weeks. I wish I could just do Tome Topple and forget about it and just read big books these couple of weeks. I'd love to do that, but I have The Underground Railroad that I've been working on by Colson Whitehead, and I'm only about 130, 140 pages away from the end of that, and that Overdrive loan expires in 2 weeks, so I'm not going to let that lapse again, because it took me about a month and a half to get it back again after I let it lapse the first time. So I want to get that finished up, and that is one of the Man Booker long-listed books that I want to get to. And then there's other Man Booker outside of the arcs that I need to read. There's other Man Booker long list books that I would like to be able to get to. 4321 by Paul Auster, Swing Time by Zadie Smith, Exit West by Mohsin Hamid. I actually got that from the library, and I started that one about 30 pages into that, and so far I'm enjoying that. That's a short book, too. I think I have it over here. It's just a couple 100-page book, so I should be able to get through this one. All my library holds are coming in at one time. I just got The History of Wolves by Emily Fridlund. I picked this up from the library yesterday. My hold came in. And this is another of the Man Booker long-listed books that I would like to get to. I know I'm not going to be able to get to it all, but I'd like to get to as much as possible. And in order to do that, I'm not going to be able to focus solely on Tome Topple books. Now that I have a good version I can read of The Grace of Kings, I should be able to get through that in the next couple of days. And my hope is that I can get through Revenant Winds, Grace of Kings, finish The Underground Railroad. I'd like to finish Sea of Rust this week. I don't know if that's going to happen. I thought I figured this all out before. I should have wrote it down before I recorded the video. But I've got Underground Railroad, Revenant Winds, and Grace of Kings. I should be able to definitely get through this week. And I would like to finish Exit West this week, too. That's pretty short. I think I can handle that. But that's not fully reading Tome Topple books. So, I'll get what I can read of the Tome Topple books. I'd love to be able to get to 4321 and I think I still will try and get to it and hope that I can renew it from the library. If I can't renew it, I might just break down and buy it. Because I do really want to read that one. That one's one of the most interesting sounding of the Man Booker long-listed books to me. But yeah, just a lot I want to get to that I just can't spend the entire 2 weeks of Tome Topple focusing solely on Tome Topple books. Plus, Stone Sky comes out on August 15th, 2 days before Tome Topple is over. And like I said, once I get that my hands on that, no other book exists for a couple of days while I read that. So yeah, that's been my week, and kind of what I got coming up too. So I have gotten the WordPress blog going. I've got a couple of posts up on there about my Man Booker long list ambitions and about my project to read award winners, and I'm going to have some more posts going up this week. I think what I plan on doing with the blog is I mentioned last week that I'm going to write up reviews for everything I read there, and only do separate video reviews for arcs and things I feel really passionately about. Otherwise, I'll just cover them in my weekly wrap-ups on BookTube. I'm also going to use the blog for more discussion style stuff instead of making discussion videos, because I write better than I speak, so I can handle a discussion topic more fluently in writing, where I can really write and edit and really collect my thoughts and get my thoughts together. Whereas if I were to record a video discussion, I'm just going to be rambling, and there's going to be stopping and me collecting my thoughts like you just saw me just do there. You see me do it a lot in my videos. I try to write stuff down and try to get everything collected in my head before I hit the record button, and then I hit the record button and it all goes to shit. So I spend some time just collecting my thoughts and getting that in order. And unfortunately, because I'm trying not to edit as much as possible. Like if I have a big pause, I'll pop it in the editing program and I'll try and get it edited out. Especially if it's like right now I'm at 11 minutes, and if I fully stumble right now, I'm not going back and re-recording the whole thing. I'll edit. But my editing program, I don't... Like, if you guys have a good program for editing on a Windows machine that's free, let me know what it is. If you want to leave a link, go ahead and leave a link, and I'll pull it out of the spam folder. But my program that I have, I'll tell you what I've been using, or what I was using to start with. I've been using what's OpenShot Video Editor, and it just crashes all the time. I'll be in the middle of doing something, and the program will crash, and that's why part of why I decided to go to no editing, because it would just piss me off. I mean, and the other thing is, I do a bunch of edits and I put the pictures in, and it takes like an hour to process and remake and make the new video, and then it takes 2 to 3 hours to upload to YouTube, and that's sometimes just time I don't have to deal with. Like uploading to YouTube, I can set it up on an upload and forget about it usually, unless the computer goes through an update and reboots while it's in the uploading. That's happened once. It really pissed me off because I was trying to get that video up that day, and I ended up just scheduling it for the next day. But yeah, so if you guys have great, easy to use, free, open source editing software that you use and you would highly recommend, let me know what it is. Like I said, if you leave a link, I'll pull it. I'll pull your comment out of the spam folder, no problem. Because OpenShot's it was just pissing me off. I know a lot of you will probably say use a Mac. I do have a MacBook, but I just prefer Windows machines. I just do. I have personal issues with Apple myself, so I tend not to support Apple. But yeah, I think that's it. I went off on a tangent. I was telling you what I was doing with the blog. So the blog will be reviews for everything, written reviews for everything, discussion topics. And when I do tags, I'm going to post the written version of the tag on the blog, as well as do the video tag. Like I'm going to have the coffee book tag coming up this week. I think I'm going to get that up on Wednesday. And I've already got the blog post written and scheduled to post on Wednesday to coincide with the video. So if you want to see the difference in how I explain things in the video as opposed to in the written word, you'll be able to do that. But yeah, please come check out my blog. There'll be some different content there than there is on my BookTube channel. And look me up on Twitter. I'm trying to be more active on Twitter. I'm starting to figure it out. I don't tweet a lot yet. I still have trouble with the idea of, if I have a thought, tweeting it out rather than just keeping it to myself. I still have this thing in my head like, is that really important enough to tweet out? But I'm trying to be more active on there. So look me up on Twitter, follow me on Twitter, connect with me there, connect with me on Goodreads. I'm very active on Goodreads. I check into it all the time. I'm on there liking people's updates and stuff. I'm almost more active on Goodreads than I am on Facebook anymore. But so yeah, connect with me on social media. Leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you to everybody who's subscribed to me so far, and I wish you all good reading. I'll see you in my next video.